Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's forum, The Future of Learning. In keeping with the times, last year's physical conference format has transitioned to this year's web format. My name is Jay Vias, and I'm very honored to be here as today's Master of Ceremonies. For some context, I have a keen interest in both innovation and in education, and I serve on the National Board of Little Kids Rock, which is a U.S. nonprofit organization that's dedicated to transforming lives through innovating, expanding, and restoring music education in schools. So I'm looking forward to today's discussion and insights as much as all of you are. Though we are all physically distanced, I'd still like to kick off today's forum the way we do in Canada, by acknowledging that the land upon which we gather, at least the land that I am on right now, is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. My role today is straightforward. I will keep the day moving, and I will be introducing speakers. So you'll be seeing me many times today, but always very briefly. I'm going to keep my introductions of the speakers quite brief. You can find their full biographies on the conference webpage, and I really encourage everybody to check out those biographies. Their collective backgrounds, experiences, positions, and accomplishments are both incredible and inspirational. To all the speakers that I'll be introducing, I just want to apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name. Before we kick things off, there's a few housekeeping announcements I'd like to make. The hashtag for this conference is hashtag Future of Learning. You're all encouraged to tweet during the event. During each talk, you'll also see icons at for me, it's at the bottom of my Zoom window, one for Q&A and one for chat. And you might need to move your mouse a little bit to make those icons appear. The Q&A part will be used for questions and answers at the end of each talk. And conference participants are encouraged to chat with each other using the chat box. I see that there's 4 points in the chat right now, in fact. Regarding the schedule, you may have noticed that today's agenda goes straight through, unlike at physical conferences where there are breaks. Since we're all virtual, feel free to take a break as it best suits you for a drink or to stretch your legs. I would like to thank our hosts and sponsors, Convergence.tech and Tribe.id, and our community and media partners, CanLearn, CanElearn, and Mindshare Learning. Both of those organizations have learn in their name. We're here today, in fact, to discuss the future of learning. The topic was very important last year at our conference, and it's taken on an added urgency due to the crisis in which we find ourselves this year. Noted historian and philosopher Yuval Harari writes about the tendencies of crises to compress time. He writes, "That is the nature of emergencies. They fast forward historical processes. Decisions that in normal times could take years of deliberation are passed in a matter of hours. Immature and even dangerous technologies are pressed into service because the risks of doing nothing are bigger." So that's what he says. And the pandemic we find ourselves in has amplified the impact of unequal access to learning, and digital transformation is thus likely to be a critical component of the solution to this, as online and distance learning become a necessity. So with that context, and to get the afternoon rolling, I'd now like to bring out today's host, Chami Akmeemana, digital nomad and CEO of Convergence and Tribe.id, the sponsors of today's forum. Over to you, Chami.
Thank you very much, Jay. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Chami Akmeemana. I'm the CEO of Convergence.tech, and I want to give you a very warm welcome to our very second annual Future of Learning Forum. What a journey it has been. I can see that many of you who logged on were part of last year's event, which kickstarted this adventure. So good to have you all back. Know that our policy at Convergence is to create confidence in our craft, and seeing all of you here proves just that. We also believe that one must focus on the journey and not just the destination. Joy is found not in completing an activity, but building it. For those of you who are here with us for the first time, I offer you a very warm welcome. Really glad you could join us, and I promise you it will be time well spent. Coming into our second year now, the overall goal of the event is the same. How do we better understand technology, how technology is impacting our education system, and how can we leverage everything that is out there to keep moving forward? Consider our world at this very moment. We're in the middle of the most deadly pandemic of all time, and we need to change our way of going forward to ensure it doesn't happen again, but also changing our ways of thinking and how education can be positively altered for the better. We have also known that education was heading towards a digital path with secure digital identities, and we have always provided this service. However, this is critical. In fact, it's almost mandatory. 2020 has been so crazy that when there's a thunderstorm outside, I think perhaps easily there could be a Godzilla outside. Who knows? I mean, 2020 holds no surprises. I think we all know the challenges that lie ahead of us in the education sector. Many of us live this reality every day, and we're all here today because we're very passionate about the future of learning and wanting to protect it, grow it, and nurture it. These challenges have no borders, but there are ways around many of these problems. And that is why we have brought together some amazing speakers and panelists from across the globe to tackle these very important issues head on. As my favorite African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I'm super excited about the lineup we have this year. An awesome group of educators and specialists who have a ton of knowledge and insight that I personally can't wait to hear. I don't want to take too much of your time other than to say that I'm really looking forward to today's presentations and panel discussions, and I hope you are as well. Thank you so much, and over to you, Jay.
You mentioned that this is a global forum, and as you were speaking, some of the responses and the people communicating in the chat was coming up on my screen, and I'm blown away by the footprint on the planet that we have at this conference. And I saw a few of the places from the Middle East to South America to Asia, and of course there's participants from North America. So that's it's just absolutely it's powerful that this many people from all over are coming together for this.